Let's go to Argentina now, discuss the story with the researcher and author Adrian Salbuchi. Mr. Salbuchi, good evening. Now, outside countries have got directly involved in Libya. Do you think that sets a dangerous precedent for the other ongoing uprisings in the Arab world? Do you think we're going to see more of the same?
Well, yes, we are seeing more of the same, actually, and I think that we have to be very careful with the double standards that are being used by the Western nations, in this case, so far, France, Britain, and the United States, because they seem to make a great differentiation whether the uprising is from a bad guy government like Gaddafi's, or whether it's one of their good guys, as we are seeing in Saudi Arabia, which invaded another supposed good guy, Bahrain, where the United States keeps its fifth fleet, the Indian Ocean Fleet, and there have been no invasions of Saudi Arabia or of Bahrain on the Western powers. So definitely I think that it is part of the turmoil that is being spread, even on purpose, I would even say, in some parts. President Obama has just admitted that there are CIA and MI6 operatives in Libya helping the rebels, and I definitely believe that the United States and Britain are playing with fire because they're not telling us what other major superpowers might be thinking of doing in the near future.
But Adrian, isn't it just down to the fact that the US doesn't have enough money and enough manpower to get involved anywhere else in the region right now?
Well, the United States, for decades, every time they need money, they just print it, as we have just seen with the banking bailout. So that is the secret of the superpower United States of America, the fact that they can print money whilst every other country has to earn it. That being said, I am very, very shocked at the fact that nothing is being said about what China might be planning on doing. Those CIA operatives that we hear about, well, we know that way back in 1953, it was the CIA that ousted Mohammad Mossadegh from Iran because of oil. So the story seems to repeat. And just for the record, I am speaking from Argentina, where the CIA have backed military authoritarian coups in Chile and in Argentina, and the consequences have been horrendous. So every time I hear about the CIA helping, quote-unquote, the rebels, I've become very concerned for those people's livelihood.
And taking everything you say there, also asking you, are there any parallels to be drawn between what we're seeing in Libya now and the beginning of a new type of Iraq-type war?
Absolutely, because, well, Iraq, as a matter of fact, yes, because Iraq was invaded on the basis of a total and flagrant lie, weapons of mass destruction that did not exist at all and never did exist. So in Libya, we cannot be too sure what is happening. President Assad from Syria just warned his people, because they are also having uprisings, to be very wary of what is reported in the Western satellite channels, as he calls them, because psychological warfare is spread definitely by the major West European and European media outlets, so they can whip up a war frenzy, warmongering, as they did with Iraq, and then when they realize that it was a quote-unquote mistake, it's too late because the country has already been invaded and destroyed, as occurred in Iraq and as is happening right now in Afghanistan.
Further down the line, is there anything positive that can come from this? Is there a brighter future lying ahead at all for Libya's people, considering for years they've been denied a share of the profits from their country's rich natural resources, of course?
Well, yeah, no doubt, because all these uprisings, whether in Libya, Egypt, Bahrain, and Tunisia, Algeria, they are genuine. In a way, they are innocently genuine. So people have to be very wary of the so-called democracy that the Western powers want to impose upon those countries. As Hillary Clinton said right before her trip to Egypt, we want Egypt, for example, to have the type of democracy that we want to see. So we have to be very careful about the type of democracy that Hillary Clinton wants to see, because if it's good for Hillary Clinton, it will no doubt be no good for the Libyan or the Egyptian or other peoples in the region. So the more people become aware of the complexities behind everything that is happening, the more that the people will be able to fight back and defend their own interests, and not the interest of an authoritarian government that they might have to change, but also not the interest of the United States, the United Kingdom, and France.
Adrian Salbuchi, author and researcher, joining us on the line from Buenos Aires tonight. Thank you for your